Hey guys, Marcus here from StreetText. It is my plan to highlight the conversion strategies in kind of a Cliff Notes version because I know a lot of you guys have so much on your schedules. So I want to provide you with my bullet points, my takeaways. So just let's have a quick coffee conversation and highlight some of the takeaways that you can use in your follow-up with StreetText Lead today. Number one, one of the cool things that I saw from Jen is she's always been, and we're talking about Jen Ivey today. I've been doing profile pieces just so if you guys were wondering what the premise behind this and really extracting what I believe is the key to their success. Jen Ivey has done 7 transactions with StreetText in less than 6 months, okay? So that right there just shows me that there's something she's doing that's developing these relationships with these leads. And now she highlights with me that she only does the seller side. So we'll talk about seller leads in this example. We'll talk specifically how she's leveraging Facebook, how much she's spending on a daily basis, and then what she's doing to generate dialogue really to get into their home and take that listing appointment. So what I learned about Jen is she's always been using Facebook. Even in the beginning of her business, when she was trying to figure out Facebook, she knew she was meant to be there. So for 5 years, it was always, she said, it's always been her marketing tool. So right there, you can see, hey, she's leveraging social media. She knows she's meant to be there. She's generated 2,000 or more followers, and she's consistent with posting everything relevant to the market on that page. When I asked her, I said, then why at that point did you come and take, or be looking into a system like StreetText as opposed to all the other different systems out there? What was unique about StreetText that you wanted to try us? And she said, I just love the way you guys advertise yourselves. I've heard good things about other agents in different groups that she's in, different real estate groups. And we always just came up as a good company to deal with. Now, also remember this. You guys, one of the main keys that I start having to make sure everybody knows that Facebook's algorithm is ever changing, always changing. And one thing to take note of is what works for Jen in one market may not work for you in your market. So Jen, for example, spends $7 a day on Facebook. Now, that's a low advertisement spend on average. I find that most people spend around 10. And then if you take that market she's in and then compare it to your own, it's going to be different, right? It's like, let's take a $1 million market, for example. Let's take here in the BC area in Canada, Vancouver comes to mind, or say in the States, the Bay Area, San Francisco. That is going to be different with how Facebook leverages that $10 a day as a place where maybe the average home is 200,000, right? So a dollar can go a lot further, have a lot more impact. The algorithm, the relevancy, the performance scores, the predictability of lead flow, that all changes, but the message stays the same. On the seller side, at least we know, and we've developed an algorithm and an ad, landing pages, the way we ask you to personalize that reply, all that's consistent on our end. Now, I always ask her these questions because I want to pull out some solid data around this, but I asked her what's her experience with the StreetText lead, like what was she doing? And she said, in the beginning, it's a little bit of a process, but she was super encouraged because she got into the Insider group, which is our community of realtors who are all sharing their follow-up experiences. And she personalized it from the very beginning. So that's key. Like you're going to have the drip that works on your behalf, but she personalized it. She said, the best thing that I've done for me is emails, and I email them a short little email. Okay. So when the lead comes in, they provided their email, some information about their home, time frame for selling maybe. What are you going to do to start the conversation? Well, she says, I received your request for a home value. I need to do a quick walkthrough of the house. Take that, guys. Take that right now. Realize that that's so important. She is asking the question. She's also she's saying, if you want a home evaluation, I need to do a quick walkthrough. So she says, I received your request for a home value. I need to do a quick walkthrough of the house. It normally takes me around 5 minutes. What's a good time for you? And she gives them 3 different days and times that she's available. See how she's giving options? See how she's letting them know in order to receive a home evaluation, I need to do a quick walkthrough, making it super easy. She's weeding out people that are tire kickers right there. If they want that home value, they're going to choose one of those times, or at the very least, they're going to reply maybe say, and she says this all the time, hey, I'm not ready yet. I'm a month out. I'm 3 months out. I'm 6 months out. The key is you want to start the dialogue, right? So don't allow the system to do it for you. You take control. She said, a couple times I've gotten emails back from StreetText people. Mainly it's been my emails that I send out. After about 2 weeks, I send them a different email, again, a personal email, and I ask them if they're still interested in the home value, and then I put them on a drip campaign. Okay, now she uses Lion's Desk, which a lot of our clients do, and you can buy scripts from Lion Desk. You can have them go into that, but she always even says she doesn't rely much on that one. It's just something that keeps her top of mind. It's the personal replies. Okay, so because I asked her, I said, do you find that Lion Desk drip campaign produces results for you? She said, yes and no, it does, but I think personal emails are better. Honestly, I get more response from the personal emails than I send. Even if it's just a quick, hey, just checking in with you to see if you're still interested. That right there is what she thinks the powerhouse is, personally sending emails out. And I agree, right? No one wants this automated. People can see right through that. So make sure whatever you do send, it speaks and resonates with your voice, your personality. But she also, here's the big takeaway too, because she's busy, right? So she has an assistant that also helps send personal emails and stuff. So her assistant is kind of got her aligned with a calendar that reminds her on when to send these emails. So that's going to be important, timely, even though personal. So how many deals with StreetText to this point? She said, I've listed about 5 homes, but 2 of those became buyers. And it was the first 2 months with StreetText before she got that initial reply. So again, we got to think mentality. This is a long-term situation. That's why we say a minimum 90 days just to kind of start seeing the system. And that's where we work with you on building that. How do you build that know, like, and trust? What are the systems that you're going to use? What's going to be your powerhouse? We'll work with you on that. We have lots of master classes and conversion courses, and you can get lost because there's so much great stuff out there. We got to find what uniquely works best for you. So I asked her, so what would you say to the StreetText person who wants to know, how long before I see one of these become a client? It's going to be unique and different. But she says, make sure you give it 90 days before you start seeing any sort of response. And I asked her, so you say you should be evaluating this based on email responses. She says, no, not everyone's going to tell me it's okay for me to come over. Some may say, hey, I want to wait 30 days, but you got to base it off of, really your key in those first 9 days is really becoming an expert on generating dialogue. And then you can start figuring out how to get that into an opportunity to meet, a listing appointment. And then, of course, you want to nail that listing appointment. So she said, my first listing I got was a buyer and seller. They sold their house and were upsizing. We put their house on the market, and within a couple weeks it sold. Of course, they bought another home with me, which was good. And then about 3 or 4 weeks later, I got another response from StreetText, and I went and listed their home as well. They actually bought and sold with me too. They were downsizing, so that's pretty much a given, right? She got 3 more on top of that. And so, yes, in 6 months, she was spending $7 a day. We did a quick calculation, because she's spending on average a couple $100 on Facebook, a couple $100 with StreetText. So about $2,400 in that full investment over 6 months. And, if you look at 7 deals, 3% on a $200,000 average home, if you do the math, that's really good. So I think what we calculated was about $49,000 on a 2,400 investment, right? Pretty good ROI. So yes. So, and now, I asked her about full submissions. Okay. Full submissions. So she'll text them, but she won't call. Okay. And there's someone similar. A lot of people don't call because she says, I like that. She talked about, I kind of respect the privacy a little bit because I know I wouldn't want to be called. And I don't like salespeople calling me, so I don't want to do that to them. So she'll text them and say, basically, I let them know that I've received their home value and I was working on it, and I've sent them an email. So she'll text them, hey, I've sent you an email. When you get the time, if you could respond, let me know what works best for you and what you're wanting to do. Okay. Very simple, very personal, great takeaway. And I asked as well, so what would you recommend these realtors ask to get the dialogue started? Okay. Whether it's email or text. She says, I always ask, I always send my initial email and just saying I need to come and see the home and ask them what day and time works for them. So going back to what we talked about, and if they write back and say I can't or I'm 6 months out, at least you get the conversation started. And that's where you go from there. Then it'll come down to developing systems around their time frame and how you're going to check in personally with them. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, she says. But what she says, be a master at asking the right questions. What's your time frame? What are you looking to do? Tell me about your home. People get excited when they tell you about their home and what they've done. So that's just a little takeaway on my interview with Jen. More like this, I'll be pulling out the great content from what I see. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want more like this. If you want me, if you have any questions, let me know. But I will be taking the best content from every interview and providing it to you. And of course, those full interviews will be there so you can watch the full interviews. I get into a lot more content on the psychology of how successful, why they are successful, why they do what they do, some of the philosophy behind that. It's going to be great. You guys are going to see we're going to create a podcast coming soon as well out of this content. But take this practical takeaway, the Cliff Note version of what I'm providing, and apply it to your own business. Look forward to talking to you soon. Enjoy your day.